Paragraph 1. Success does not begin with giant leaps or dramatic breakthroughs, but rather with the quiet decision to take one small step forward and then repeat that step consistently until it becomes part of who you are. The inner guide method, inspired by the timeless teachings of Joseph Murphy, centers on the idea that your mind responds powerfully to evidence, even if that evidence comes from the smallest of actions. When you choose to complete a simple task, such as making your bed, finishing a short workout, or following through on a promise you made to yourself, you are sending a signal deep into your subconscious that you are capable, reliable, and in control. Over time, these signals begin to stack, forming a foundation of self-belief that feels natural rather than forced. Many people struggle with confidence because they wait for a big win to prove their worth. But this method flips that idea completely by showing that confidence is built first and success follows. Each micro win becomes a building block, and while it may seem insignificant in the moment, it contributes to a larger internal shift that changes how you see yourself and what you believe you can achieve. The beauty of this approach is that it removes pressure and replaces it with clarity, allowing you to focus on what you can do right now instead of worrying about everything you have not done yet. As you begin to guide yourself through these small victories, you naturally develop discipline, not through force, but through repetition and trust in your own actions. This is where the true power of the inner guide method lies, because it teaches you that you do not need to rely on external motivation or validation to move forward. Instead, you become your own source of direction, encouragement, and accountability. Over time, this creates a sense of independence and inner strength that cannot easily be shaken by setbacks or challenges. Even when things do not go as planned, the habit of taking small steps remains, keeping you grounded and moving forward. In a world that constantly promotes instant success and overnight transformation, this method offers a refreshing and realistic path that is both sustainable and deeply empowering, proving that lasting success is not built in moments of intensity, but in moments of consistency that quietly shape your identity from the inside out. Paragraph 2. As you continue practicing the inner guide method, you begin to notice a subtle but powerful shift in how you respond to challenges, responsibilities, and even your own thoughts, because your focus is no longer on perfection, but on progress that is steady and repeatable. The teachings of Joseph Murphy emphasize that the subconscious mind absorbs what you consistently impress upon it, and through micro wins, you're deliberately feeding it proof that you're someone who follows through, adapts, and grows. This creates a feedback loop where action strengthens belief, and belief fuels further action, making it easier to stay committed even when motivation is low. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by large goals, you break them down into manageable pieces, allowing each small accomplishment to act as a stepping stone that carries you forward with increasing confidence. Over time, you start to trust yourself more deeply, not because you have achieved something massive, but because you have built a pattern of reliability that becomes part of your identity. This trust is essential because without it, even the best plans can fall apart under pressure or doubt. By consistently honoring small commitments, you train your mind to expect success rather than fear failure, and this expectation influences how you approach new opportunities and obstacles alike. You become more willing to try, more resilient when things go wrong, and more focused on solutions instead of excuses. Another important aspect of this method is how it reshapes your internal dialogue, gradually replacing negative self-talk with a more supportive and constructive voice that encourages progress instead of criticizing imperfection. As this inner voice grows stronger, it begins to guide your decisions in a way that aligns with your long-term goals, making it easier to stay on track without constant external reminders. This is what it means to truly become your own guide, someone who can navigate uncertainty with clarity and purpose. In addition, the accumulation of micro wins creates momentum that feels natural and sustainable, allowing you to maintain consistency without experiencing burnout or frustration. You are no longer chasing quick results, but instead building a foundation that supports lasting growth and meaningful achievement. This steady momentum also helps you develop patience, an often overlooked but essential quality for long-term success, as it allows you to stay committed even when results are not immediately visible. By embracing this process, you begin to understand that success is not a single event, but a continuous journey shaped by the choices you make every day. And through this understanding, you gain a sense of control and confidence that extends into every area of your life, reinforcing the idea that true transformation happens gradually, one small step at a time. Paragraph 3. With continued practice, the inner guide method begins to influence not only your actions, but also the deeper structure of your habits, priorities, and long-term vision, shaping a lifestyle that naturally supports growth and success. Drawing inspiration from the philosophy of Joseph Murphy, this approach highlights that repetition is the key to imprinting new patterns into the subconscious mind, and those patterns eventually determine the direction of your life. What once required effort and conscious discipline slowly becomes automatic, as your daily micro-wins evolve into consistent habits that guide your behavior without resistance. You begin to notice that tasks you once avoided now feel manageable, and goals that once seemed distant start to feel within reach, not because the circumstances have dramatically changed, but because you have changed internally. This internal shift is powerful because it removes the constant struggle between intention and action, allowing you to move forward with a sense of ease and clarity. As your habits strengthen, your focus becomes sharper, and you develop the ability to prioritize what truly matters instead of getting distracted by temporary impulses or external noise. This clarity helps you make better decisions, not only in moments of motivation, but also during times of uncertainty or fatigue when most people tend to lose direction. Another important transformation occurs in how you perceive setbacks, as they are no longer viewed as failures, but as part of the process, opportunities to learn, adjust, and continue moving forward without losing momentum. This shift in perspective reduces fear and hesitation, making it easier to take action even when outcomes are not guaranteed. Over time, you also begin to set higher standards for yourself, not out of pressure or comparison, but from a genuine belief in your ability to grow and improve. These higher standards are supported by the foundation of small, consistent actions, ensuring that your ambitions remain realistic and achievable. The inner guide method also strengthens your sense of personal responsibility, encouraging you to take ownership of your progress and results rather than relying on external circumstances or validation. This sense of ownership empowers you to stay committed to your path, even when distractions or challenges arise. As this process continues, you develop a deeper connection with your goals, understanding not just what you want to achieve, but why it matters to you on a personal level. This connection adds meaning to your efforts, making each small step feel purposeful and aligned with your broader vision. Ultimately, the combination of consistent action, strengthened habits, and a clear sense of direction creates a powerful momentum that carries you forward, reinforcing the idea that lasting success is not achieved through sudden bursts of effort, but through a steady, intentional process that transforms who you are from the inside out.